What's going on, guys? Seth and Chevy here. We just watched episode 7 of Trigun Stampede. Full spoilers ahead. This is a continuation of the last episode. Very literally. A lot of times we say that because the story in this series is very much, continuing on. But this one is almost like part 2 of the last 2 episodes, in which we start off with the fight that continues between Livio, I think that's his name, the assassin guy.
I believe so.
Livio and Wolfwood. Livio is trying to take out Vash still. Vash runs, and we're treated to a really well choreographed fight scene between Livio and Wolfwood. Last episode, I called him Vilio, so I must have got the V and the L's mixed up. Anyway, they're fighting. Vash is running. During this time, we see something I thought was going to happen in the last episode. Meryl and Roberto did get captured by the Marauders. I forgot their name, but they are attempting to take over the ship at this point, and they took them with them, but to my surprise, they brought them because they're allowing them to be journalists and kind of document this siege on this giant ship that is careening towards an orphanage. And they are essentially just pillaging the ship and trying to take it for themselves. And Meryl's just taking pictures of them, which I thought was kind of funny. Vash comes running through, just kicking dudes' asses, which was nice to see. I get he doesn't want to hurt people, but I always am welcoming of him to do something, I guess. And the whole show's been also encouraging him to do something. He ends up coming back, trying to help Wolfwood, knowing that Livio is important to Wolfwood, and through various events of trying to stop Livio. There's some flashbacks. Stuff re-emphasizing that Wolfwood was always kind of the leader of the two, and Livio was always trying to catch up. And through a lot of this, we get a brief glimpse of Livio kind of remembering who Wolfwood is and their connection. But then his hard-coded programming starts taking over again, and he struggles with, having to try to be human again, have feelings, and continuing his mission of trying to take out Vash and anyone who comes in the way of that. And he ends up shooting himself in the head, which was pretty intense. If he's dead, we don't know, but it seems like he is. And even with his regeneration abilities, that might have been just enough to shut him off. So we have the ship that's heading towards the orphanage. They try to figure out a plan on how to stop this from happening. They scramble. Wolfwood's trying to stop the cannon from being in use. And I forgot exactly the detail of what Meryl's doing, but
She's sitting at the console to fire the weapon.
yeah, because they're going to raise it up and then, yeah. And we get an interesting dialogue between her and Roberto, where Roberto's trying to get her to leave and not sacrifice herself for this because she's a journalist and she should stay alive for the story to tell it. But she doesn't want to run. And, he says she's not a hero, but she's deciding to be one, which is not that surprising considering how involved she's been in every situation, whether it's been good or bad. She's, throughout this show so far, has been running into things. So they end up pushing the cannon upward. She hits the cannon, and it ends up shooting, wrapping around, shooting from behind, and they are eventually able to stop the ship from going into the orphanage. The whole time, we got the telekinesis guy and the bug girl who pulls a bug out of her mouth, which is fucking disgusting, following them. And they stopped the ship, but Vash ran off at one point and ran to the plant, in which it seems to have some kind of connection with him. As he's against the glass, it also is communing with him or something. I don't know. And then by the end of the episode, everyone goes to check on him, and he's in there with this butterfly type thing, and he has like a weird pattern all over his face. and the episode ends there. So, yeah, earlier somebody said he's not human, and now it's almost leaning in the direction of that mystery of just what is he or who is he and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, a lot happened in this episode. I try to be brief about it because I'm not going to go over every single detail, but what do we think of it?
Like the last episode, or last part of this, I should say, since it's a two-parter. I really like this. The dense information mixed with action and scenery and stuff that we've gotten through this whole like landship I guess arc has been what I think we needed because the show was getting a little samey, but fortunately it did not wear out its welcome. So just in time, I would say. So they did a good job with the pacing in that regard. I loved the choreography, like you brought up. The mix between shooting and hand-to-hand was a treat. It's really hard to make that look cool, and they did a really good job with that.
Especially with the Wolfwood's weapons gigantic, and the other guy's got like essentially dual Uzis. And the choreography of that worked really well. Was awesome to watch, and it went longer than 5 seconds, so it was nice to see a little bit more.
Yeah, it was a pretty long fight, which was great.
The whole episode felt pretty long in a good way. I liked the episode a lot.
Yeah, it was just really dense.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. Even Vash, before he started punching people, he kind of does this like little maneuver with his pistol to like use the back end of it. Yeah. Super stylistic. It was really cool to watch. A little bit of comedy in there too, with them posing for the camera. That was funny. Got an actual chuckle out of me. And then the other I guess big moment was towards the end, obviously when the plant and him were obviously communing, I think is gonna have to be the word for now because I can't think of another way to put it. But and then him
vibing,
and that, which was like super. Obviously we haven't seen that. I assumed it was just a plant, and apparently that might not necessarily be the case. They might just call it a plant. It could mean something at this point now. And with what Meryl said at the episode, and it could just be a what do they call that? Like a red herring or whatever. But it's kind of implied that Vash might also be also a plant, with the markings being similar to that of it. So cool cliffhanger. As much as I hate to wait for another episode, it is a thinking ending, which is nice. And then and the music again. The music's never like super strong in the show, but it's just enough, and they're really good about like setting the mood with it. So
I think the soundtrack of the show's been great so far.
Yeah.
And I was gonna wait to get to that point, but I really liked the music in this episode. It fit really well. It was super dramatic and epic, and fit like all the scenes. And this episode particularly had some really cool like backdrop scenes and coloring. A lot of really cinematic scenes. There's one where it was just like Wolfwood in the background, like the sky was just like these different colors of like purples and orange, stuff like that. And it just like really popped and looked great with the music. Like it was just like a really, really good episode to watch. Like I enjoyed it from beginning to end, every single part of it. And a lot of it was just like the attention to detail, the choreography, the atmosphere, the music. Of course, the story and what's happening was really good. And I'll get into that. But, it was just I wish every episode was this good. Because there's been a bunch of good episodes, but like we did get those 2 episodes, they were kind of like, okay, like is this what we're gonna keep doing? Just like I felt with the town, like how long are we gonna be here? And last episode was good. This episode was even better, and it just feels like we're finally getting something from it. So I agree. The music was really good in this episode.
Yeah, especially with the during the cannon and then like the actual stopping of the ship, it was like slowly getting more and more intense too, which was really good. So
and Wolf was down there fucking turning that thing that was all hot or whatever with his little file in his mouth because he's able to regenerate or whatever. It was
go ahead.
No, good. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I love how he saw it, knew it was gonna mess him up,
Yep.
put the vial in his hand, and then he still hesitated because it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
So
Which is cool. It was a cool thing to see after, we've been watching since he's been introduced to the show and like questioning like what's his motive, why is he connected with these people, blah blah blah. He's the Punisher or whatever. Is he just playing a game here? And this episode, I think, kind of solidified the humanity behind his ambitions, how he's not going to be connected with these bad guys. He was obviously abused by them and kind of turned into a weapon. We learned in the last episode. And in this, he's trying to save his old friend, was unable to do that or unable to do that. And then, he's struggling with the idea of, the orphanage getting hit by the ship and willing to sacrifice himself. And then in that scene, he's doing what he can to stop this, which I think added a lot to not only just his character, but the whole flow of the show, really. Like it added stakes to somebody else, which was nice, because I still don't even feel much for Roberto and Meryl outside of like they're there and I like them, but they don't add much in terms of like stakes. And then even with Vash, I want to know more about him. We got a couple things, but this episode kind of added some weight to the characters, which I really enjoyed.
yeah, I mean the episode was called Wolfwood. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and so I think it did a really good job on fleshing him out and making him an even more compelling character, considering, he's very cool, he's very stylized, he's got an awesome weapon. So, of course, like you see him, you're like, oh, I like this dude. But, that's all surface level style. And, adding some element to his character is appreciated. Makes me like him even more. So, but yeah, episode was really great looking. The choreography was awesome. The action was awesome. It had a really good balance of a lot of things going on here with drama, backstory, character development, action comedy, all that stuff. Even though the Marauder guys are essentially useless, they're just kind of in the background, it did add something to the episode. I did think it was funny that they kidnapped these two people, found out they were journalists, and like, hey, because this happens in real life too. People invite journalists into war zones and be like, okay, you guys are journalists, show everybody what's going on here. Same thing here. Like they're like, oh yeah, take pictures of us. Like let everybody know.
Yeah.
And so she's just taking the pictures, and they're like making the joke about it. She's got to enjoy life. Otherwise, what's the point? Which is funny coming from these guys who are just invading a ship and
Laughing the whole time though.
shooting everything up.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And then they all just get off the ship and go away.
And leave, yeah.
It's so stupid. But it added some fun factor to it. We were talking before with Olivia and Wolfwood fight was really cool. Seeing Vash do some CQC was really cool. The ending's really weird, and I can't really speak on it too much because I can't even speculate because I don't know the world enough. I don't know enough about the plant. Like this is all just like going like, well, something's gonna change in the story here soon. And I'm like, okay, well, you gotta tell me because I have no idea what's going on here. So it's weird, it's interesting, but it's a development, something different, because we were talking like samey stuff earlier. Like, the show's just kind of them going along and trying to get to, oh god, what's it called, July. But now we're like, okay, so what is Vash? We understand Wolfwood better now, but there's just stuff happening, which is nice, more than just the visual of them traveling along. The sequence of them trying to stop the ship was really well done. A lot of tension there. The whole time I was like, I don't know how the hell they're going to do this. I know they will do it, but like I don't know how they're going to do it. So it was cool to see how they worked that out and using the cannon to essentially stop the ship. And it was interesting too that this thing was made from old spaceship parts, or whatever the hell they were saying. So Vash was able to access the computer and understand it, which was pretty cool to see. And I also liked, even though I still don't love Meryl, it was cool to see dialogue between her and Roberto that was more than just like what we've been getting. And even though it is a little bit of character development, it was character development for her character. And if she's going to be around, I want to get to know these characters more. and that was definitely welcome. I'd like to know Roberto more, but I don't know if we really need to because he is kind of like a very archetypical character. But he might have a backstory that's interesting as well. But yeah, at least we got something from her, so that was cool. Yeah, I really liked this episode. It's probably my favorite episode of the series so far. The second favorite probably being the last episode, or the one where Knives showed up in the town. Those are the best ones so far. The ones with big moments happening, yeah, I think the show's been good so far, and it kind of plateaued there for a couple episodes, but now we're building again, and I think I'm really enjoying the trajectory of it, and really curious to see where it goes, because they've introduced something new now that I'm just like, okay, where's that going? And we'll find out. So yeah,
I mean, I think that pretty much covers it. I'm just kind of curious, like, what's next now that because we took 2 episodes to kind of deal with this situation. Are we gonna have another moment here? Obviously they'll be there for a moment, because obviously the whole Vash thing, but then are we gonna like fast forward to more traveling, or what's the deal? So then obviously we have to wait till this weekend to find out. So
I feel like we're gonna get an episode, maybe 2 episodes of them traveling, running into a random situation to kind of decompress from the last 2 episodes, have some dialogue on what happened, and maybe fill in some gaps.
Arrive at July maybe.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how long they're planning on running this, but I mean, this is episode 7, and if they're doing, just 12 or 13, that's over halfway at that point. So.
Yeah. I was watching this. I'm like, is this the finale? I know it's only 7 episodes so far, but I was like, this feels like the finale for some reason. So, but it could be like a kind of like a little past midway point of big event, and then they'll probably end this season with something big as well. So that would make sense.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Well, let us know in the comments what you guys think of episode 7 of Trigun Stampede. Interesting thing we saw in the comments. It seems like, and you made a good point. Maybe the people who don't like the show left, but stopped watching it. But it seems like people are turning around on this. I saw a lot of people saying the show's getting better, and every episode's getting better and better. And somebody said, even the haters, like, how can you even say the show's bad? Blah blah blah. And of course, it's all to each their own, but it's interesting to see that. So I'm curious if you are watching this along with us and joining us for these conversations. How have you felt so far? Has the show gotten better? Has it stayed the same? Has it gotten worse? Do you hate it? Do you like it? And what did you think of this episode, for sure? And then, a couple things I want to let you guys know in case you follow the other things we do on this channel. And it's not a lot because our main channel is Tastefully Gaming, so make sure to check that out. But Nier, I guess, has come back. I didn't hear about that, but we saw episode 4 was on there. We might wait to watch that episode, but I would like to continue doing that. So yeah, look forward to that. And then anybody who was following my Last of Us review, I think I did 2 or 3 episodes of a review. I've decided, because I've fallen behind on doing reviews for the episodes due to scheduling reasons, I will likely just do a season review. So if you're wondering where I'm at on that, I will be doing a full review of the whole season and talking about what I thought of everything then. So just watch The Last of Us. I'll do the same because I am watching it, and we'll talk about it when it ends. I'll have a lot to say on it because I'm a big fan of the game, and I'm liking the show, but definitely is taking some liberties and also staying faithful to the show or game. So really interesting. Yeah, got anything to add to that? You trying to watch Revenger, dude?
Maybe.
Looked kind of interesting, even though people don't like it.
Has a pretty lukewarm review score. And then I don't know what else is out this season. So if there's something you think we should be watching,
give us recommendations.
Because I've been kind of... Last season was so busy, I kind of like mentally checked out a little bit for this season. Yeah. So...
And then I saw that, and you've heard of it, but I saw that Bungo Stray Dogs. Watched the trailer for that. It looked pretty cool.
Pretty cool, yeah.
I've never even heard of it, so I like the art style and the general vibe. So, but anyway, just some thoughts out there. Let us know yours. And I've been Seth. This has been Chevy. Until the next episode, we'll talk to you guys later.